Hey, sixth grade. Today we started solving some percent problems. And we just need to be careful readers and make sure that you are using a calculator as you work, right? So the very first problem is one of those ones that just has one sentence. It says 48 is what percent of 60? So immediately I can see the word percent, and in front of it is what. So we are going to be solving for the percent. At the end of your work, your answer is going to be on the top of the bar. I also see the word of. I want you to picture the posters in my room. Of is one of those pink words that means the whole. So if it says of 60, then immediately you know that 60 is the whole or the total. And if that's true, then 60 goes on the bottom right. It's really, really important that you are making that connection. We also know that 0 goes on the bottom left. So there's one more thing we need to do. We need to look at that 48. And if we keep reading after the 48, we see is. When you make fractions, it is always part on top of the whole. So take a look at what we have now. We have 48 on top of 60. And I've talked about this a little bit in class. If you leave it as 48 on top of 60, then you have to take that bar and make it be 60 parts. You don't want to do that. So we're going to start simplifying. If you don't know the best number to divide by, then pick any number to divide by. I noticed that they're both even, so I'm going to divide by 2. Divide by 2. And I'm going to use a calculator, and I'm going to get 24/30. I see that they're both even again, so I'm going to divide by 2 again. Half of 24 and half of 30. You can use a calculator. Use a calculator. It's 12/15. At this point, I can stop and think, making 15 parts is better than 60, but maybe I can make even less. I noticed that not 12 and 15 are even. 12 is even, but 15 is odd. So that means I'm not going to divide by 2 this time. There are a couple of different ways to make 12. I could do 1 times 12, but 15 isn't divisible by 12. I could do 2 times 6, but 15 isn't divisible by either one of those. There's one more way. It's 3. That's the one that lots of kids struggle with. It's 3 times 4. I can use 3's to make 15. 15 divided by 3 means how many 3's are in 15? It's 5. 12 divided by 3 is that other number up here. It's 4. You can use a calculator. At this point, you need to finish from here, right? You need 4/5. If the denominator is 5, then we're making 5 parts to the best of our ability. I'm really going to encourage you to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You need to fill in the missing numbers on the bottom. You need to fill in the missing numbers on the top to the best of your ability. Right? And then see if you can find where the answer is. Tomorrow in class, we're going to work on a whole bunch more of these. If you realize that you're out of room, if you're doing this on your iPad, remember, you can make it smaller and give yourself more room. All right, the second problem. I told you that I would help you set this up. On the most recent math check-in, a student earned 18 out of 24 points. What percent of the points did they earn? I can see the word percent, and in front is what? So the question we have to solve is for the percent. Our answer is going to be on the top here. All right. Okay, I see some other numbers. I see the number 24, and look at what is right in front of the 24 of. This is the total points on the quiz. If that's the total points on the quiz, then you should immediately know where that goes. It goes at the end of the whole bar. The whole quiz is 24 points. On the other end is 0. We just talked about on the previous example that if you're writing a fraction, the total goes on the bottom. The part goes on the top. Equals, all right? In this problem, 24, we just said was the total. Goes on the bottom. The student did not get the whole test right. They got part of the test right. That's the other number in this problem. They got 18 of the points. That is the part. The part of the test that they got right was 18 of the points. Not all of them. From here, we're going to simplify. I know I can divide by 2 because these are both even. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. Half of 18 is 9. Half of 24 is 12. From here, I'm going to ask you to finish. This is not a simplified fraction. There's another number that you can use to divide both 9 and 12. It is not 2. 9 is not an even number. When you figure out what it is, whatever that denominator is, that's how many parts you need to make. See if you can finish from here. Also remember that you have the notes in the notebook on your iPad. You can look at it. It's in Notability. If you weren't in class today, it'll be a little bit trickier. But if you didn't have your iPad in class today, I gave out paper copies too. You can look back at your paper. Right? To work with a partner tomorrow in class, to work in a group, you must have both of these problems done to the best of your ability. Good luck.